Peter, your recollections, Peter Alexander, of that campaign, of those moments, because at the time I was covering the Hillary Clinton campaign. We were talking all the time, seeing each other at campaign events, certainly the debates. But to me, this was one of the most fraught moments. So few weeks before the election, and then, of course, in Hillary world, they were dealing with the laptop and the Jim Comey effects. So both campaigns were just going through tumult.
Now, Andrea, you're right. And just to get to the point that you were making as you're reading through some of the document there, we did hear that exchange now with the prosecutors where, in effect, they asked her whether Mr. Trump had concerns that this would have an impact on his support by voters. And her answer, as you indicated, was simply yes. So it takes away from the idea that the president was trying to sort of dismiss this, saying it wasn't such a big deal when the tape was first revealed. I am struck by those closing weeks before the election, having spent the last month and a half with the former president leading up to that election in 2016, about just how frenetic the pace was and how there was such sort of a lockdown feel about the campaign in those closing days after this video had come out. Right now, they were often ones to try to make a spectacle, to leak information. But then there was obviously so much going on behind closed doors, trying to sort out how best to resolve this situation that they themselves recognized could be so damaging to the former president. And to give you a sense of how some of those members of the inner circle of the former president, then candidate Donald Trump, viewed it in those waning days. I remember in October, mid-October, in the days leading up to the election, one of the former president's closest then allies and aides approached me and talked about professional opportunities after the election, with a real sense that this thing was going south, that the former president, then candidate Trump, had done so much damage to his candidacy that they were already pursuing other opportunities. Then they did not view it really as a reality that he could win this thing, at least so many of those so close to him. And again, behind the scenes in all of those conversations, frankly, at the heart of so many of them was Hope Hicks, testifying today, someone who really, as you've noted, doesn't have any other agenda than to tell the truth on this occasion. She has not stayed particularly close to the former president over the course of the last couple of years, as she herself indicated. I think that makes what she's saying today that much stronger.
And let me get back, Peter, to bring us all back to this what the words that we're getting from this shared document from the courtroom. Prosecutors now asking about Karen McDougal. Hicks says, yes, I first heard November 4th, 2016. So we're talking about the campaign as absolutely at an apex. She first heard the name when she received a call from a Wall Street Journal reporter, an inquiry about her and the National Enquirer. And now being asked, have you heard of Stormy Daniels? Hicks says she was mentioned in the same story and heard of her a year prior. Guys on the plane were telling a story about a celebrity golf tournament, and her name came up. She was there with one of the participants who Trump played with that day. So Hicks is now able, I guess she's refreshed her memory to remember all of the dates and the times from that. Let's take a step backward, widen the frame a bit, and bring in Victoria DeFrancesco Soto, Dean of the Clinton School of Public Service at the University of Arkansas. So, Victoria, as an analyst about all this, when the Access Hollywood tape came out in 2016, this was really a raw moment for a lot of voters. It's now being dredged back up in the trial. Is this going to matter, or are we too far from the election itself for this to begin impacting that all-important group of women voters, suburban women voters that we're all talking about, that Donald Trump has certainly been trying to, appeal to and get around the abortion issue and tiptoe around the abortion issue with all kinds of different positions. But now all of this is being dredged up yet again. It's pretty raw.
It is. And that Access Hollywood tape, and thinking back to 2016, it was such a bomb. That being said, time does help cure wounds. And I think that the distance from the Access Hollywood tape has been a positive for Donald Trump. And in thinking about the role of Hope Hicks, as we are focused on her during this trial, is she was able to soften that image of Donald Trump. And if we look at folks like Hope Hicks, like Melania, who is starting to come out a little bit more in the campaign, these are aspects that help Donald Trump as he is starting to reach beyond his base, because Andrea, his base is with him no matter what. But the suburban moms, those women voters that he desperately needs, because women, we turn out and been turning out more than men for decades. That's going to be something that he's going to have to hit the reset button in looking to November. The Access Hollywood tape will always be in the background, but to your point, I think the issue of abortion access for women in real time, what it means to their lives, is really where his focus and his campaign strategy focus is going to have to be.